A lion can lose a hunt and move on. A bird can build a nest in the wrong place and start over, but humans are different. A human can replay a mistake for 20 years, sometimes even longer. A conversation that ended badly. An opportunity that was missed. A decision that changed everything. Long after the moment has passed, the mind returns to it again and again, replaying it, rewriting it, wondering what might have happened if a different choice had been made. This strange ability is one of the most uniquely human experiences. We call it regret. And almost everyone has felt it, but why? Why does the brain spend so much time revisiting things that can no longer be changed? The answer may lie deep in our evolutionary past. For ancient humans, mistakes were often expensive. A poor decision could mean losing valuable resources. Trusting the wrong person could put the entire group at risk. Choosing the wrong path through unfamiliar territory could lead directly into danger. Unlike many animals, humans survived by learning from experience. The brain evolved to remember failures with remarkable clarity, not to punish us, but to teach us. A painful mistake carried valuable information. And the humans who remembered those lessons were less likely to repeat them. In many ways, regret became one of evolution's most powerful teachers. Because forgetting a dangerous mistake could be costly. But remembering it might increase the chances of surviving tomorrow. And that ancient learning system is still operating inside the modern human mind today. But evolution did something unusual. It rewarded the humans who looked backward. Not because the past could be changed, but because the future could. After making a mistake, the brain naturally asks questions. What happened? Why did it happen? What should I do differently next time? Psychologists call this counterfactual thinking. The ability to imagine alternative versions of reality, a different choice, a different action, a different outcome. This ability allows humans to learn not only from what happened, but also from what almost happened. In many ways, regret is the brain running a simulation. A mental rehearsal designed to improve future decisions. And that may explain why certain memories refuse to disappear. The brain does not replay every moment equally. It gives special attention to failure, embarrassing moments, painful decisions, missed opportunities. The experiences that hurt the most often become the experiences we remember most clearly. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes perfect sense. Success confirms what already works. Failure contains new information. A successful hunt teaches confidence. A failed hunt teaches strategy. The brain studies mistakes because mistakes are often where the lessons are hidden. That is why a person can forget dozens of ordinary days, but remember one painful decision for decades. Not because the brain enjoys suffering, but because it is still trying to learn. Even years later, part of the mind may still be asking the same ancient question. If this happens again, how can I avoid making the same mistake? And that question may be one of the reasons regret feels so difficult to let go. But regret comes with a cost. Because the same ability that helps humans learn also allows them to imagine lives that never existed. A wolf can remember where food was found. A bird can remember where danger appeared. But humans can do something far stranger. They can imagine an entirely different version of their lives. A different career, a different relationship. A different decision made years ago. And suddenly, a new reality begins to form inside the mind. One where everything turned out better. One where the mistake never happened. One where happiness arrived sooner. This is why regret may be the price of imagination. Without imagination, humans could not invent, create, or plan for the future. But without imagination, they also could not torture themselves with endless what-ifs. And over time, those imagined alternatives can begin to feel surprisingly real. The brain creates another life, another timeline, another version of yourself. Sometimes that imagined life looks perfect. Far better than the one you actually lived. But there is a hidden problem. The imagined version contains no uncertainty, no setbacks, no unexpected difficulties. Only the benefits that might have happened. Reality is complicated, imagined realities are not. That is why regret can become so powerful. Because the mind often compares a real life filled with imperfections to a fantasy life that never had a chance to disappoint. And in that comparison, the past can begin to look far better than it ever truly was. And perhaps the deepest regrets are not about the things people did. They are about the things they never did. As people grow older, a pattern often emerges. Many do not spend most of their time regretting failed attempts. Instead, they regret missed opportunities. The conversation they never had, the dream they never pursued, the journey they never took. The person they never told how they felt. A failure at least provides an ending. An unanswered possibility does not. It remains open, lingering in the imagination. Forever asking what might have been. In many ways, the roads not taken often haunt us longer than the roads that failed. And modern life has made this feeling even stronger. For most of human history, people compared themselves only to those around them. Today, they compare themselves to millions. Through social media, people constantly see alternative lives, alternative careers, alternative relationships, alternative versions of success. The result is a never-ending stream of comparisons. The brain begins imagining countless paths it could have taken. And every path appears to promise something better. But these comparisons are often incomplete. People see highlights, not struggles, outcomes, not sacrifices. The imagined life once again seems perfect, and regret grows. Not because life is necessarily worse than it could have been, but because the human mind is constantly being shown possibilities it never had the chance to live. But perhaps regret was never meant to become a prison. Its purpose was never to trap humans inside yesterday. Its purpose was to teach, to guide, to help future decisions become wiser than past ones. The problem begins when the lesson is learned, but the punishment continues. When the brain keeps replaying the same memory long after there is anything left to learn from it. Because eventually regret stops being a teacher and becomes a burden. The healthiest minds are not the ones that never regret anything. They are the ones that know when to carry the lesson forward and when to leave the pain behind. After all, the past no longer exists. The mistake no longer exists. The missed opportunity no longer exists. Only the memory remains. And perhaps that brings us back to the ancient campfire where this journey began. Thousands of years ago, humans sat beneath the stars, reflecting on the choices they had made, learning from failures, preparing for tomorrow. That instinct still lives inside us. But now, for the first time in human history, wisdom may require something more than simply looking backward. It may require knowing when to stop. Because the purpose of regret was never to keep us trapped in a life that might have been. Perhaps its true purpose was to help us build a better life from the one we already have. The past can teach you, but it cannot hold you. Unless you allow it to. And perhaps the most powerful thing a human can do is learn from yesterday. And then finally return to today.